Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of You Got This, your one-stop shop to everything health and wellness and mindset related. My name is Alice, and I'm so glad that you're here. I know you have a lot of content and podcasts to choose from, so it really means a lot to me that you hit play on this one. Today, I want to chat to you a little bit about when you're feeling lost and when you're not sure anymore who you are, what your values are, what you want to do in life, and what you really need. You're just kind of feeling a little out of tune with yourself. And I want to talk to you about this because actually one of my clients had a question about this. I host a 12-week online course. If you're interested, find information in the show notes. But one of the girls asked a question and she said, let me actually pull it up while we're at it. She just said, the more I'm thinking about what the more I'm trying to identify the areas of struggle, and the more I'm learning and listening about, wellness and self-care and all of that jazz, she's like, I just feel like a little more confused. What do I stand for? What do I need? What do I want? Who am I? And I totally understand that confusion. So that's what inspired this podcast. And first of all, I want you to know that you are not alone. Whatever you're experiencing is entirely normal. And actually, it's a really important part of your growth journey. Many of us go through phases where we feel uncertain about our feelings, our identity, our values, and our desires, as have I. I have had many plot twists in my life, many things thrown at me, but also I've done many different things in my life. I lived in New York for 6 years where I really focused on acting and singing. And then I moved back to Belgium where I currently live, but I still travel a lot, luckily. And then completely shifted from being into, music and acting to wellness and health. I became a fitness and yoga coach, and then I became an online coach. And sometimes when we go through these identity shifts, you get out of touch a little bit with yourself, but to be honest, you need to learn and you need to know that that's just another layer that is unraveling, that you're peeling away, and it's just you getting closer to yourself. But as we change or adapt, and as our identity grows and switches and flows, it's very normal to feel a little out of touch. You can see it as growing pains. Let's call it that. It's called growing pains. So it's really, really normal, and it's actually a sign that you're evolving, exploring, and deepening your self-awareness. But I totally understand that it's scary and confusing, and sometimes it feels like the harder you're trying to force yourself to feel and get clear and grow and learn about yourself, the more difficult it might seem, right? So I have a couple of tips with you during this shorter episode. And number one is to be patient. Be patient with yourself. Know that growth is happening. You are exploring, you're digging, and you're allowing yourself to figure out who you are, what you stand for, and what you want and need. So even if it doesn't feel like that right now, it takes time. So I want you to give yourself the space, and I want you to allow it to click naturally without forcing it. So yes, reflect. Yes, journal. Yes, read and get inspired and get motivated and learn about all these different things when we're talking about values, purpose, mindset, passions. Like you do want to pursue that actively, but at the same time, you have to give yourself space. You have to give yourself time. And you have to give yourself grace. It's not gonna click from one day to the next. And the more you force it, it will feel harder. So be patient, give yourself that space, give yourself permission, and let yourself kind of chill and fall into it. Because the more rigid and the more strict and the more stressed we get about it, it's not gonna get easier. Your values, your identity will change and shift and grow as you get older, as your life changes, as you go into different chapters of your life, right? Your values are going to be different when you're a teenager versus a 20-something, when you're studying or when you're in the middle of a booming career, whether you have children, when you retire. Like all of it is, your identity is going to shift a few times. Like even for me, in my 20s, I was always single. I loved being single. That was part of my identity. And then when I when I committed to a relationship, that for me, for instance, was a time where I really did feel lost a little bit, because that is such a big identity shift. And I did have to really learn new things about myself. Who am I in a relationship? Who am I when I have to find middle ground and talk to other people and be vulnerable with other people and open? So throughout your life, it's going to change and you are going to feel lost. You are going to feel a little out of touch. But as long as you keep doing the work, as long as you keep checking in, keep reflecting, keep journaling, keep breathing, it's going to happen. So give yourself time, give yourself space, and give yourself grace. And with grace, I mean be kind to yourself. Okay? Number 2, embrace the uncertainty. Instead of seeing that uncertainty as something bad or as a hurdle, I want you to view it as an opportunity, because uncertainty can lead to self-discovery. It's like a blank canvas just waiting for you to paint it full of vibrant colors. Unless you like neutral colors, paint it full of beige. So don't see it as a hurdle, but look at it as an opportunity. That's kind of a mindset shift, right? So we talk about that in many episodes. I talk about it in all my courses, online, wherever. Mindset is everything. So if you look at that uncertainty, that I'm not really feeling like myself anymore, I'm not sure what I want or need anymore, take that as a sign that you are growing, that it's time for growth, that you're evolving, and that it's just growing pains. So embrace it. Know that it's part of the journey, and look at it as a challenge instead of as something bad. Okay? It's a good challenge. It's a good opportunity for you. Number 3, self-reflection. So self-reflection is so important. But while you self-reflect, I want you to keep in mind that there is no right or wrong. There is not a perfect answer. So for instance, if you're filling out journaling prompts, or if you're meditating, or whatever you're doing, as you self-reflect, know that there is no right or wrong. So if you're not sure what your values are, and it's an exercise about your values, for instance, you can write something down, and you might write something down completely different the next day. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean you're a bad student. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means that you're open. You're open-minded, you're checking in, you're being present and in the moment as you reflect and as you think and as you journal, as you write. So that's okay. There's not one right, perfect answer. You get to decide who you are, what you want, what you need, and you can change that whenever you want. Maybe one of the reasons that we sometimes feel like we're not sure who we are, what we need, where we're going in life is because we put so much pressure on ourselves to make it the right value, the right decision, the perfect choice. And of course, it's going to be really scary then to choose something or to commit to something or to say, oh yeah, my value is this. Because then, yeah, we're scared if we say the wrong thing, we can't change anymore. But we can. There's not one right answer. You can change at any moment in your life. You're not a tree, so if you move somewhere, you can move again if you don't like it. That's the beauty of life. You're in charge. You're the captain of this big ship. You get to navigate it. You cannot control the waters. You can't control the weather. You can't even control if your ship, if there's an iceberg that you bump into. But what you can control is the direction you're going. But you can always choose to go in a different direction, right? You can always choose to make sure you treat the boat well. And if you're going to hit an iceberg, yeah, you're going to have damage. But you get to choose how you react to that damage. Are you going to treat it nicely? Are you going to take it to a ship doctor? I'm going too far with this metaphor, but you get what I mean, right? There is no perfection, but self-reflection is important, but do it with kindness, with self-love, with space. Next up, get inspired, explore, keep exploring. So whether it's books, podcasts, arts, traveling, anything that really resonates with you that can spark some insights about your internal world, about what you might like, is a good idea. So if you're not sure what you like, what you need, try new things. We're, again, very scared sometimes, coming from a place of fear when it comes to trying new things, because we want to do it perfect. We want to be good at it, even though we've never done it before. But you're not going to be good at that, something you've never done before, but you are going to learn a lot about yourself. So sign up for that dance class, go rock climbing, or go on that solo trip that you've been planning to do, but you're too afraid to do. Do all those things, because you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You don't have to be great at something for it to be fun. You don't have to be good at something to learn from it. So do the things, get inspired, try new things, all right? There's a book I really enjoyed. It's called Big Magic. It's from the author of Eat, Pray, Love. I think her name is Elizabeth Gilbert or Gilbert. And I really liked it. It was all kind of about, when you're a kid, you have hobbies. So you might sing, or you might dance, or you might play soccer. And then as you get into high school, you might still do it, but you get more homework, so you might do it less and less and less. And then after high school, you realize, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be a professional soccer player, or I'm not going to be a professional gymnast, so I'm going to quit. And I just do what I'm studying, and then I do my job. But we need to stay inspired. We need to be creative, and we need to just have fun, have an outlet. And you don't need to be professional at it. You don't need to be making money from it to get all the other mental and physical benefits. So what did you like to do as a kid? Did you like to dance? Did you like to play soccer? Did you enjoy dancing? Then go and do that again. You don't have to be good at it, and you don't have to make money from it in order for it to be really beneficial for your health. And it will inspire you, and it will get you back in touch with what you like. So think about that. What did you like to do as a kid? And maybe you try it again. I have two more things I want to tell you about this feeling of being out of touch, not being sure who you are, what you like, what you're actually feeling. And I want you, for these two last, the first one is just, I want you to stay open. Be open to that change, to that evolution. You might discover new insights, new values or passions along the way, and that's a sign of your growth and adaptability, but you have to be open-minded, all right? If we in advance already say, oh, that's nothing for me, or I'm not like that, or my family wouldn't like that, or my friends wouldn't think what would my friends think about me if that's my value, or if I start doing that or this? Stay open, be open-minded. Yeah, I was trying to think of examples. I've given enough examples about this, I think. So just stay open-minded, all right? Don't bash something before you try it. And if you try something and you don't like it, remember, this is something I always say to people who try yoga for the first time. And if they're like, I didn't like yoga, it's not for me. I'm always like, well, which type of yoga did you try? Because there's so many different types. There's vinyasa, ashtanga, yin, kundalini, hatha, so many kinds. And also, maybe it was the teacher. Maybe you didn't really like the instructor. Maybe it was the studio. Maybe it was the online platform you didn't like. There's so many different things that goes into actually liking something. And again, that's all to do with open-mindedness. So give something a couple of chances before you bash it. And then there's so many things out there that you don't have to keep trying to do something that you don't like and that doesn't bring you energy. Don't do it a million times if it's not bringing you joy, all right? It's okay. There's so many other things out there to try and to do, so do that. And then last but not least, it's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers in you right now. The journey of self-discovery is filled with twists and turns, and there is not one single way to do it. So in that moment, I want you to remember that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. These are some affirmations that really, really, really are helpful and beneficial for you when you're feeling this way, right? Affirmations are really a helpful tool in that moment. Let me pull up a list here of affirmations. Where do I have it? Okay. Actually, let me put this list of affirmations in the show notes. It's free, download it. And there's also a affirmation meditation that I'll put in here, I think. Yeah. So some of these affirmations are, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You can write it on a post-it, hang it on your mirror, on the fridge, in your bathroom, or you can just read it in your mind or repeat it out loud, whatever. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm open to the infinite possibilities within me. I'm constantly evolving. I embrace uncertainty as a stepping stone to self-discovery. I release the need for perfection and embrace my authentic self. I am free to explore my passions and interests without judgment. All of these types of affirmations are really helpful. What I actually like to do is every morning start my morning with affirmations, and I just put on guided affirmations. You have some of here on the podcast, and there'll be more added for sure. I just like to put it on while I make my morning coffee or while I'm walking to somewhere in the morning or on my morning walk. I just put it on and just hearing it, repeated, makes me feel good, and it reminds me of all of these things. So just remember, you always have affirmations to come back to. All right? So next time, if you're feeling a little lost about who you are, what you stand for, what you want or need in life, remember, it's okay. I hope you enjoyed this little podcast episode. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, add a comment, or email me, or slide in the DMs. I would love to talk and chat with you. Remember to download that freebie, and don't forget to subscribe so you are notified when a new episode hits. Thank you so much, and remember to share this with a friend or a family member who might be going through this thing right now, because they might really benefit from it. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.